And then there's a related issue with new allegations from a Secret Service agent named Paul Landis, now 88. Landis was riding on the rear right running board of the motorcade behind Kennedy's limo. Now, in Landis's account, in his new book, which he waited 60 years to reveal, he says he found an intact bullet lodged in the seat of Kennedy's car, a bullet he now claims he placed on Kennedy's stretcher in the foggy moments after the killing. But remember, it was that bullet which was found on the stretcher of Governor Connolly.
As soon as she stood up, right on the back seat, on top of the back seat, behind where she'd been sitting, I saw a fully intact bullet. I picked that bullet up, took it into trauma room 1, and placed it by the president's feet. That's a fact.
But why, again, is Landis coming forward only now with an account that differs significantly from what he himself said in the immediate aftermath of the shooting? So let me start with Burt Griffin. Not only were you on the Warren Commission, you have reevaluated everything in your new book as well. So has any of this new information changed your view that there was only one shooter and it was Lee Harvey Oswald?
All right, let's put the Parkland doctors aside, but focus on Landis. Although I want to say that what is critical to both the Landis account and the question of whether the bullet entered the president from the back of the neck and exited from the front was the evidence that we have of Kennedy's shirt, the forensic evidence, and the back of his shirt shows fibers on the shirt pushed inward, and the front of the shirt, where the hole was in the shirt, those fibers are pushed outward. So it's very clear from the confirmatory evidence here with respect to the shirt that the bullet went from the back, exited the front, and went somewhere forward. Now, what about Landis? Landis is actually a neighbor of mine, and I've been at various meetings with Landis. He has never, at any time in my presence, claimed that he found a bullet on any bullet whatsoever. We know that he wrote a 6 or 7 page report to the Secret Service within a week of the assassination. He never reports finding a bullet. In fact, the first time he is, to my knowledge, publicly reported finding a bullet is in the book that he is writing. So, I want to say this about, I think, you know, I find Landis to be a nice person. And I really have a feeling that a combination of needing to sell a book and a false kind of memory, maybe from the emotional experiences he had as a result of the president, but he's got a false memory here.
And to be clear, Burt, nothing in any of the new evidence has changed your view that Oswald acted alone, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Let me ask Robert Groden to respond to that and dig in on any of the new information that we've got.
There's a massive amount of evidence of the shot coming from the front, the fatal shot coming from the front in the head, and also the throat shot. I interviewed Dr. Perry myself many years ago at New York Hospital, and I showed him the autopsy photographs, which he had never seen. And he stood up and he looked down at the throat wound with the tracheotomy through it, and he stood up at the desk and he said, "I didn't do that. That's a butcher job." I've had a great many of the Dallas doctors which I interviewed. I interviewed over 20 of them. They all said that he was an artist at surgery, Dr. Perry, and that he would not have done something like that. It was big. It was sloppy. it's hard to believe that bullet came from the front.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.